All right, so showed Brock Purdy's first touchdown, or last touchdown pass, I should say, to Brandon Ayuk. That was a gym. Showed Christian McCaffrey's carries and just the blocking schemes and the different personnel that the 49ers use. Now we're going to talk about all of the offense and mostly the passing. These traits, this is an incomplete pass, probably what I appreciate about Brock Purdy the most. Just, again, his willingness to give his really freaking good pass-catching threats, I'm not going to say wide receivers because obviously George Kittle's a tight end, a chance to make plays down the field. And sometimes it's going to be incomplete. Other times it's going to be pass interference. A lot of times they're going to come up with a catch. But again, I just love the fact that he keeps his eyes down the field and he wants his guys to make a play. All right, so early on in the game, there was a concerted effort to give Deebo Samuel the ball to make sure that he was involved. And on this play, so we see running back, tight end, receiver, fullback. So the 49ers, they're in 21 personnel. This is their base formation, right? But they're in empty. And when you're in your base, that means the defense is in their base. So you have your best receiver on a safety. You have your second best receiver on a linebacker. You are going to win those matchups 9, 10 out of 10 times. And especially when it's Deebo and Ayuk. So here's how it just works out. Kyle Juszczyk, he's just going to sit here, not really run a route. Brandon Ayuk's going to run a deep curl, about 10 yards, and then Ayuk's going to run a little stick route where he's going to go 5 and out. With the space that you have between these two, somebody's going to be open. And it's just about Brock finding where he wants to go with the football. And obviously, he does a good job just kind of hanging in there, letting Deebo win, puts it on him. Deebo's able to come close to scoring, but I think just the design, right? Just making sure that you can dictate matchups not only by personnel, but by where you align. And this just goes to Shanahan's genius. Good luck guarding that. Even prime Bobby Wagner's not going to be able to keep up with Deebo in that situation. So this is an option play for Brock Purdy. What he is going to do is he's going to read the end man of the line of scrimmage. They are going to fake the shovel pass to Christian McCaffrey. And the other option is to obviously give it to Deebo Samuel. So again, alignment, right? We have your best player and Deebo Samuel, both in the backfield. How do you align to this? Like, who are you keying? And if you are, this is not a knock on Deebo, but I'm going to key on 23 because why wouldn't you based on what he's done, especially near the goal line, right? Like, they have gone out of their way to run up Christian McCaffrey's touchdown number. So you can see the way the defense reacts. Like, they are slow playing to Deebo and really crashing hard on 23 here. Watch the way he crashes. So again, if this defensive end crashes, give. If he stays with Deebo, you can do the little flick, underhand, whatever, and shovel it to Christian McCaffrey. There's no real decision to make with just how hard that defensive end crashes. So this is all formational. So good job by Brock just to make the right, simple decision. And this is where, if you're Shanahan, you can really use McCaffrey as a decoy. So again, the motion, it's just a really good design. One of the benefits of playing a divisional foe is you know what you're going to get. So Seattle, they show single high here, but they're going to spin to cover 2. And as you can see, this safety has a deep half. This safety has a deep half. This corner is responsible for having, this underneath flat coverage right here. And then you have a hook defender who he needs to get out to Deebo Samuel. What the 49ers are betting on is Deebo's going to find that little void in the defense between this linebacker, this corner, and the safety. And Brock's going to hit him on time. McCaffrey, he's going to hold the corner. And then it's just on Purdy and Deebo. Purdy plays on time. Deebo finds a void. Big game. So I was on Covers Pod, which is like a gambling podcast. I gave out Deebo's over receiving yards at 43.5. And I think this is the first quarter still. I think it's probably the second quarter. But he hit it on this catch right here. So that was pretty cool to know that I'm not that far off. But usually, yin yang. Ayuk just had a big play or a big day last week. They're going to go out of their way to get Deebo the ball here. But scheme-wise, it was great. Purdy playing on time. And then just, Deebo doing Deebo things. 1, 2, 3, looks left, looks right, gets hit. I think, Trent misses actually the stunt here where He hangs on to the looping edge guy just long enough. 99 actually spins his way into a QB hit. All good. No harm, no foul. Explosive play. All right, so I lied. This is the play where Deebo went over his receiving yards, and this is 8 minutes left in the first quarter. This is how much of an effort they made to give him the ball. So, if you just watch the linemen, right? Watch McCaffrey and the linemen. This is a built-in throwback screen. All of the linemen are right here. Trent Williams, McCaffrey. All right, now let's watch the safety. He thinks he reads it, right? Screen, screen, screen. He's going down to cover them. But what he forgets is can't cover everybody. So even when the defense thinks they're right, there is a built-in route to make them wrong. This is impossible to guard, honestly. Unless that safety is King Deebo, unless this linebacker, like he points to him, hey, 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 there's nowhere for the defense to go. The corner to the top of the screen, he's guarding Ayuk, so he has to run and chase with Ayuk, and that clears out that whole side of the field for Deebo. And he's just wide open. So, again, good job, Brock, just giving him a chance. But the scheme, they ate the Seattle Seahawks alive early on here. All right, so it's 3rd and 7, and sometimes you're going to need your players to make a play. You're going to need your players to overcome whatever the play call is. That's exactly what happens here. So just a simple out route. So Brandon Ayuk has to have an outside release to clear the corner there. He catches the ball. Juwan Jennings catches the ball 2 yards short. Like, this should be a 4th and 2. Kyle Shanahan needs to make a decision. Tackled right there. Does he kick it with Jake Moody? Does he go for it? Instead, it's 3 guys right there. This has to be a tackle for the defense. Instead, just get superior effort. A guy who's not willing to go down. Yeah, he deserves to celebrate that. That's a huge play. 49ers, maybe they end up going for it. Maybe they don't get it. Maybe Moody's kick goes wide. Maybe Moody makes a kick, keeps Seattle in the game. They go down and score. Who knows? Like, there's endless possibilities here. But instead, just because of a guy not willing to go down, you're able to get a first down. So I think those little plays right there deserve to be highlighted. All right, so here's another 3rd and obvious passing down situation. So there's no way to sugarcoat this, right? You need a quarterback who can make plays on 3rd downs when everybody knows you have to throw it. So 4-man, 5-man rush. The Seahawks are man coverage across the board. This is good quarterbacking because you have to identify the matchup, right? Which matchup is probably going to work best for me? I'm going to take Kittle on Jamal Adams every day of the week. Just a simple stop route. Kittle runs to the sticks. Ball's out. Right, he's not turned out of his break yet. And the decision to throw this ball, already made. Like, he's already going to release the ball. Because if you hold, maybe there's pressure in your face, gets deflected. Who knows? But, like, these 3rd and 7s are just as important, if not more, than seeing the bombs that Purdy and the offense is able to complete. So, this is how you win in the playoffs. This is how you win against the upper echelon teams. You convert these 3rd and 7s. Ideally, they're winning on first downs and you're not able to, or you don't have to worry about making these plays. But to see Purdy make these plays on the road, give his guys a chance, that's big time. All right, so this is a really good design from Kyle Shanahan. He is assuming that the top of the screen is going to be in man coverage. The corner to the top of the screen is going to be in man coverage. And that would leave Ayuk wide open. Instead, 21 just does a really excellent job of coming off this crosser right here and getting to Ayuk. What needs to happen, and this is probably just Purdy not accounting for him falling off this route, but in an ideal scenario, this ball is lobbed to the middle of the end zone, front pylon, back. Either way, it's lobbed somewhere in this vicinity. So he can just run under it, coast under the ball. But instead, Purdy throws it on the line. And again, I'm just guessing here, but I'm assuming he has no idea that the cornerback's going to fall off that route. And, part of playing quarterback is to know when to use trajectories, to know when I need to throw it on the line, when I need to use some air, just judge and fly the ball. But it's really just a hat tip to the corner. That's a hell of a play right there. But you do want Purdy to account for all the defenders on the field. So probably want this to be a touchdown, but hat tip to the defense. All right, third down. Again, everybody knows you're going to pass. Based on this look right here and this, it looks like they're going to bring the house. The Seahawks are about to blitz everybody. How it works out is the defenders end up falling off. He comes out. So this could be dangerous right here. And, I've seen plenty of quarterbacks make this mistake where you'll get a better angle from the end zone view. They panic, right? The thought of the sight of the first opposite color you see, panic, throw it hot, and more often than not, we've seen this happen where throw it to the first window, throw it right to 52 because you thought he was rushing. He gives the illusion that he is and then falls off. Thankfully, Purdy's eyes weren't there to begin with, but there were a few plays in this game, earlier in this game, where Purdy got a little antsy in the pocket, and he does so here, where you worry, is he dropping his eyes? Like, what is he going to do here? But I think he does a good job of just resetting. Like, hey, chill. Eyes stay down the field, resets, throws to the second window, and the 49ers are able to convert the first down. So it would be a big no-no if drops his eyes, scrambles, because, with him, it'll be a sack instead. Or, I guess I should say the other would be throw it to this first window and right to the DB or right to the defensive lineman. Instead, he recoups, regathers, and they're able to pick up a first down. So that's another 3 third downs here where the quarterback's just playing on time, makes a play, and keeps the offense on the field instead of settling for a field goal or a punt. The 49ers have an opportunity to score a touchdown. So I missed this when I was highlighting McCaffrey and his explosive runs. I guess technically this doesn't count, but this should be a tackle for loss. So where's the line of scrimmage? Line of scrimmage is at about, is that the 12? 14? The linemen get reset. The linemen are in the backfield. You have them dead to rights right here. Until you don't. That's tough, man. There's no way that this should be a touchdown. You know how there are those, win probabilities? Like the probability of McCaffrey scoring at this juncture, 5%? 1, 2, bounces off. Touchdown. Yeah, having Christian McCaffrey on your team will make your offense better. This is the groundbreaking analysis that brings you to this channel. Speaking of, comment, like, subscribe. Tell me what else you want to see. This will be an offense-heavy week, or at least today anyway, because of plays like this. All right, so plays like this, I really appreciate, again, Brock Purdy. This is like the first clip that I showed, just giving his players the opportunity to make a play. So think about the range of outcomes that can happen on this play. The odds are in the 49ers' favor. It could be pass interference, it could be a catch, it could be an incompletion, it could be an interception. One of those are a disastrous outcome, right? But everything else, you get to live to fight another down, or you get an explosive play, or you get a free first down. So why wouldn't you throw this up? And in this case, Deebo just runs out of room, can't get 2 feet down. But instead of throwing this out of bounds with how Seattle was playing this ball, the same with Kittle or early in the game that I showed, you have to throw this. And I think Purdy's willingness, keeping his eyes down the field as he's scrambling to make a play, is why the 49ers offense continues to reach new heights. So nothing crazy on this play, and I probably should have put this in the McCaffrey breakdown from earlier, but when you pick up your feet as a running back, this is the difference between tackle at the line of scrimmage for 1, 2. So I think Shanahan's willingness to throw the ball out of his own end zone gives you an idea of how he feels about Brock Purdy. This is just a miss. Like, he misses high. He's kind of drifting in the pocket. I mentioned earlier in the game that he had a couple A couple occasions, couple dropbacks where he is drifting, where he's not setting his feet. He's kind of leaning back. I mean, is this a QB measurable issue where everybody in front of me is, 4 or 5 inches taller? I can't really see, but I mean, there's nothing else to really say here other than like he's fading away and drifting, and that's why he misses high. And then on the very next play, yeah, we know what happens. It's the pick six. So he's going through his reads. It's almost the identical, same play. Looks left, doesn't like what he sees, comes back to McCaffrey. It's kind of a lineman in his lap. Pretty unfortunate outcome, pick six. And obviously it doesn't have an impact on the game, but there were a couple occasions where he is fading. Look at him right there. Maybe the other end zone angle will give us a better idea. But fading, drifting, that's just something that you can't do. And that's why he's missing high. He's got to be able to step in, but pick six instead. He's rolling out, keeping his eyes down the field, and here he's throwing across his body. And this is the wild child, right? This is who Purdy is. And you are not going to coach this out of him because he has been doing this since about 30 miles from where I live, Perry High School. He's doing it at Ames for 4 years. Like, he is going to make plays like this probably 1 or 2 times a game where he's going to throw the ball across the field. And this is the high variance that comes with Brock Purdy. And honestly, doesn't bother me because we've seen this result in a touchdown. We've seen it result in a big play. And on this play, it's one of those no, but you get to see the wild child in him. So I mentioned how the 49ers had 4 explosive runs in this game, and that's only Christian McCaffrey. Deebo had one. They had some nice carries. They had a 53% rushing success rate on the game. Holes like these are why me and you could run through a hole like that. Look at that. That is enormous. And it's not like, we're seeing pancakes all over the place. It's just getting out-schemed, outnumbered. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the run fit. And this, on this side of the ball, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So they're outnumbered. Not much they can do there. Yeah, that's just scheme, getting out-schemed. And that's why the 49ers had so much success running the ball. So the good part about Purdy and his mobility is he runs out of so many sacks, and for the second week in a row, probably could have had a defensive pass interference called against him because it looks like the defender got there a little early. But we're focusing on the quarterback and his ability to keep the offense ahead of the chains. So that's essentially a free runner right there. This should be a sack. This should be lead to a punt, basically. So the center pulls, tough ask for the guard when the defensive lineman is already moving away from him as the ball is snapped. Can't blame Aaron Banks for that. So Purdy could be dead water right here. He should be sacked. Instead, keeps the play alive, gives the guy a chance. It's incomplete, but I think the prevailing theme here is that you have a quarterback who can keep you ahead of the chains because of his mobility, because of his awareness, because he's a good athlete. And, this is a positive play, even though it results in an incomplete pass. All right, and that's it. So this is the double post. This is the touchdown. This is where Purdy makes Ayuk right, as I said in the other video. This is where he's holding the safety with his eyes, with his shoulders. He knows where he wants to go the entire time. And again, I think it does matter to say that this Charlie Warner's probably thinking, hey, last year, 2 years ago, I'm getting this ball. Give me a catch. I'm wide open underneath. Nah. Doesn't even acknowledge him because we are all about that third level, not that first level. The 49ers have thrown the third most post routes. So post is just what Ayuk's doing here. What George Kittle here is you're going to literally run toward the post. This was not a thing with the last quarterback. In the NFL, in college, in high school, in my opinion, the most successful offenses are the ones who throw the post the most. This season, the 3 offenses who have thrown the most post routes, the Dolphins, the Texans, the 49ers. Mike McDaniel, Bobby Slowick, Kyle Shanahan, obviously it all coached under the same tree. Each team has a quarterback willing to throw that, and each team, I mean, if you look across the board, they are near the top 3 in most major statistical categories. So hats off to Purdy for willing to throw these passes, and you're seeing how he's helping the offense. So that's all. I want to get that out because I think just, man, there's so much value in throwing post routes, and we're seeing how it's reflected not only on the scoreboard, but how defenses have to defend the entire field with the 49ers, and it's a big ask. So that'll do it for me as far as the offensive side. I'm going to be back tomorrow with the defensive breakdown, but 31 points against a divisional opponent on the road, short week. Tough to top this, but they can do more. And they might have to next week against Philly. But again, rate, subscribe, like, comment, let me know what you want to see defensively maybe. I'm interested to see how they looked because it feels like it was forever ago, but hell of a performance offensively, that's for sure.